Hey guys, Sheet Geek here. Just want to go over a concept in spreadsheets today called conditional formatting. This is kind of a cool tool that you can use in a few different ways. What it allows you to do is it allows you to apply a special format to cells if they meet a certain condition. So what's the condition and what's the format going to be? So if I want to look at the cities, I've got a quick little spreadsheet here with student names, cities, their classes, and their grade. Under the Format menu, there's an option called Conditional Formatting. So I want to take a look at this. What this allows you to do is it first asks you what range. I already highlighted the range of cells B2 through B7, so those are my cities. And right now, the rule that it's giving me is that if the cell is not empty, it's going to apply this default format, which is kind of a light blue color to it. So you can change the appearance of this. What do you want the fill color to be? You can pick any color from here, red, purple, whatever, or you can choose no color. And you could do something to the text instead. So you can make the text bold and red, for instance. So right now, it's applying a special rule. If the cell is not empty, it looks bold and red. So all of them are going to be bold and red because none of them are empty. But if I were to delete this Fairview right here, then obviously there's no text for it to be bold and red. I'll add it back in. I could, if I want to add that rule, I would click done. If I have a rule that I want to get rid of, so I don't want that rule, I'm going to trash that. I'm going to add a different rule. So same cell range, I got my cities B2 through B7. Let's say text contains. And then I can type what I want my text to be, like Fairview. And let's say that we want that to be bold and red. And it shows a background fill color too. So then if I were to click off that, it shows just those that are Fairview have that special format that I applied, the blue background, bold and red text. So you can use this to highlight certain text if you're looking for some specific text, like the city of Fairview, and you want everybody who's in the city of Fairview to stand out and be formatted a special way. You could do that. So let's say I'm going to be done with that. I'll get rid of that rule. You can also do, if you're looking at text, you could do text that contains a certain value. So I'm going to say text contains, and let's say I just type in view. So any text that has the word view in it, and you can see now Fairview, 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 and Bayview, since they all have the word view in them, they all get the special format, which right now is just a light blue background color. Or you can do text starts with, and if I were to say F, you see Fairview and Fullerton, since they both start with F, all the Fairview or Fullerton cities are formatted that special way. Another thing that's kind of cool here is that I could do a formula here. I'm going to do equals $sign B $9. So this is an absolute reference to cell B9, which if you look at my cell B9, it's got the letter F in there. So right now it's looking at cell B9 and it finds the letter F and it's formatting all of the cities that start with F. If I were to change this F to an E, oops, sorry, just E, then it gets rid of that format on the cities that start with F and it applies it to the city that starts with E. If I change that to a B, it formats Bayview. If I change it back to F, so this is kind of a neat way that you can set up kind of a visual search for all of those cities. So that's kind of a neat feature that you can do. So let's highlight these cities, and I'm going to get rid of this rule that I have. If you're working with numbers, let's say we're working with classes. We can add another rule, and now it's looking at C2 through C7. So here's your text rules. Text it's empty, it's not empty, it contains, it does not contain, it starts with, it ends with, and it's exactly something. When you get down into numbers, we've got a bunch of numbers down here. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, is between, and is not between. So these are all some neat options that you have with numbers. So let's say I just want my students that are in 10th grade or above. I could say greater than or equal to, and then I could type a 10 here. And you'll see now my format applies to all the students that are greater than or equal to 10th grade, 10th, 11th. It doesn't get my freshmen. So I'll highlight those again. If I just wanted, underclassmen, all the students that were in less than, say, 11th grade, I could do less than 11. And you'll see it gets just about everybody except that 11th grader. So you can do a lot with numbers using any of your comparison operators. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. And you can even do, that might be more useful with grades if we were to look at grades. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of this rule. Remember, conditional formatting. We'll get rid of that rule that we have there. Let's say grades. We could add a rule to this. Let's say we want all the students that have 90% or above. So we want greater than or equal to 90%. So these would be my students that are in A range. And let's see, for an A, let's make it look good. We'll go with a green background and a white font. And we'll make that bold. So that shows my students that have an A, 90% or above. Let's say I wanted to look for all my students that were below 80%. I could add another rule. So I've highlighted those grades. I'm going to add another rule, and same range. We're going to go less than in this case, and we'll go 70% on this. And these students might be in a little bit of trouble, so we're going to give them a little caution, yellow caution, and we'll make that bold as well and say done. So now you can see the cell range has two rules applied to it for students that are in the A range and looking really good, and for students that are below 70%, somewhere below a C, and maybe need to worry a little bit. And then the students that don't meet either of those rules, that are basically above 70 and below 90, those don't have anything going on. So you can add more than one rule to the same range of cells. And once again, with this rule that I have, that it's greater than or equal to 90%, maybe I could make that, instead of putting an absolute number in there, I could say equal to $B, $11. And then it's going to look at cell B11, which is 90% for me. And if I say done, I've changed that rule a little bit. But now I can play with this, and if I wanted to make this an 85%, you see that the conditional formatting changes. If I make this 93%, it changes again, and only one student has that green. So that's kind of a nice feature, being able to put that value on your spreadsheet somewhere and then change it. And then for any of your data, when you've applied these rules, if any of your data changes, the formatting should change. So let's say the student that had 67.2%, let's say they get their grade up to 75%. See, that formatting goes away because they're no longer under 70%. If I change it back to 69%, that formatting is back. If this student that has 88.3%, if they were to bump their grade up to 92%, oh, sorry, it would need to be 94% because my cutoff is 93%. Then that formatting will show up. So I know that you could manually, like you could look through these if you really wanted all your students with 93% or above to stand out and be green and white font. You could do that manually. You could look at it. But then if the data changes, you'd have to redo that all the time. So that conditional formatting is kind of a helpful tool. It allows you uh, to apply a certain format to make certain cells stand out and draw your attention. Um, and it does change when the data changes, the formatting will change as well. So kind of a nice tool, a lot of features, a lot of things you can do with it. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.